Imagine a place where the wide open skies seem endless, where rugged mountains rise from the plains, and where history whispers through stone and prairie winds. This is South Dakota, one of America's most overlooked treasures. But here's the thing. South Dakota isn't just another stop on a road trip. It's a journey into the very soul of America. From legendary faces carved into granite to hidden lakes reflecting the stars, this state has a way of surprising everyone who dares to explore it. Most people think they know South Dakota because of Mount Rushmore, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. What if I told you that behind those iconic monuments lies a state filled with dramatic landscapes, rich Native American heritage, untamed wildlife, and towns that still hold on to the pioneer spirit? So buckle up, because over the next few minutes, we're going to travel deep into South Dakota's story, uncovering the history, the natural wonders, and the kind of hidden gems that make you want to pack your bags immediately.
1, 2, 3,
If South Dakota had a crown jewel, it would be Mount Rushmore. Carved into the granite cliffs of the Black Hills, the faces of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln stand as a larger-than-life reminder of America's story. Each face is about 60 feet tall. Just imagine the scale. But here's the secret. As impressive as Mount Rushmore is, the experience goes far beyond taking a photo. When you stand at the base of that monument, you can feel the ambition, the craftsmanship, and the controversy behind it. For some, it's a symbol of freedom and democracy. For others, especially the Lakota Sioux, whose sacred land was used, it represents a painful chapter in history. And that's what makes Mount Rushmore more than just a monument. It's a conversation about America itself. But the Black Hills aren't just about stone presidents. This region is a treasure chest waiting to be opened. Drive a little further, and you'll discover winding roads that cut through towering pine forests, tunnels carved straight into mountains, and wildlife that seems to step right out of a movie. There's the Needles Highway, one of the most scenic drives in the country, where narrow granite spires pierce the sky like natural cathedrals. Then there's Sylvan Lake, a sparkling gem tucked high in the hills, surrounded by massive boulders. It's so picture-perfect it feels unreal, and if it looks familiar, it's because Hollywood has filmed there too. And then comes a place that leaves even Mount Rushmore in the shadows, Crazy Horse Memorial. Still unfinished, but already breathtaking. It's the world's largest mountain carving in progress, an image of the legendary Lakota warrior Crazy Horse pointing into the horizon. When completed, it will stand taller than the Washington Monument. But more than its size, it carries deep meaning. It's a tribute from Native Americans to their own history, their heroes, and their enduring spirit. Together, Rushmore and Crazy Horse tell two sides of America's story, one of founding fathers, one of Native heritage. And the Black Hills hold them both, side by side, as if reminding us that history is never simple, but always worth remembering. But here's the thing. South Dakota doesn't stop at monuments. The deeper you go into the Black Hills, the more secrets you uncover. Underground caves, ghost towns, winding hiking trails, and wildlife encounters that you'll never forget. And trust me, This is only the beginning. Because once you leave the Black Hills, another world is waiting just a few hours east. A land so alien, so wild, it feels like you've landed on another planet. East from the Black Hills, and suddenly the land begins to change. The rolling green hills fade away, and what rises ahead of you looks like another world. Sharp ridges, jagged spires, and layered rock formations stretch across the horizon, painted in reds, yellows, oranges, and grays. This is the Badlands, a place so strange and beautiful, it feels like stepping onto another planet. The name Badlands comes from the Lakota people, who called it Mako Sika, literally Badland. Not because it isn't beautiful, but because it's harsh, unforgiving, and nearly impossible to cross without preparation. For early explorers, it was a nightmare. For us today, it's a dream. Stand at the edge of one of its overlooks, and you'll see millions of years of history revealed in the rock layers. Each stripe of color is like a page in Earth's storybook. Ancient seas, prehistoric animals, shifting climates. Fossils of saber-toothed cats, rhinos, and three-toed horses have all been discovered here. And if you're lucky, you might even spot paleontologists working in the park, still unearthing secrets from a time long before humans. But the Badlands aren't just a geology lesson. They're alive. Herds of bison roam the prairies. Prairie dogs pop up from their burrows, chirping like little alarm clocks. And if you're quiet, you might even catch a glimpse of bighorn sheep scaling cliffs that look impossible to climb. At sunset, the Badlands transform. The jagged cliffs glow like fire. The sky turns pink and purple, and shadows stretch across the canyons. It's one of those rare moments in life where you stop, breathe, and realize you're witnessing something you'll never forget. For many travelers, the Badlands are the highlight of South Dakota. It's raw, it's dramatic, it's humbling. You can hike its trails, camp under a sky filled with stars, or simply drive the scenic loop road and let the landscapes unfold before you. Every turn feels like a new discovery. But here's the secret. South Dakota still isn't done surprising you, because beyond the Badlands lies another icon of the American West, a place where legends of cowboys, outlaws, and gold rush towns still echo through the streets. A place where history feels alive. That place is Deadwood.
You say slow down. I don't like to move too fast. It drowns the truth with things that are not real, and I really want us to be real with love, love that
the Badlands feel like another planet, then Deadwood feels like a time machine. Tucked away in the Black Hills, this little town is one of the most legendary places in the American West. Step onto its streets, and suddenly you're not just walking. You're traveling back to the late 1800s, when the Black Hills gold rush brought fortune seekers, gamblers, outlaws, and adventurers from across the nation. Deadwood was wild, lawless, a town built on dreams of gold and soaked in whiskey, poker chips, and gun smoke. It was here that Wild Bill Hickok, one of the most famous gunslingers of the Old West, was shot while holding the dead man's hand, a pair of aces and eights. His grave, along with that of Calamity Jane, still rests on a hillside cemetery overlooking the town. For history lovers, it's sacred ground. Today, Deadwood has transformed, but it hasn't forgotten its roots. The saloons are still here, the old wooden sidewalks creak under your boots, and every corner whispers stories of gamblers, miners, and outlaws who once called this place home. There are reenactments of Wild West shootouts in the streets, museums packed with artifacts, and casinos that echo the old spirit of risk and reward. But Deadwood isn't just a museum piece, it's alive. The town embraces its history while mixing it with modern fun. Live music, festivals, rodeos, and events that keep the frontier spirit burning bright. It's the kind of place where you can sip a drink in a saloon that's over a century old, then step outside to watch a live reenactment of a stagecoach robbery. And beyond the town itself, the Black Hills continue to offer adventure. You'll find winding trails leading to hidden waterfalls, scenic drives through pine forests, and caves filled with shimmering crystals. The past and present live side by side here, and that's what makes Deadwood unforgettable. But South Dakota doesn't just stop with history and legends. Because once you leave Deadwood, the open plains remind you that this state is as much about its people and culture as it is about its landscapes and stories. From rodeos that bring communities together, to Native American powwows filled with color, song, and dance, South Dakota invites you to witness living traditions that connect the past with the present. And soon, we'll dive deeper into that culture, exploring how South Dakota's heritage and spirit make it one of the most authentic places in America. If there's one thing that makes South Dakota unforgettable, it's not just the landscapes or the monuments, it's the spirit of the people. This state may seem quiet at first glance, but once you look closer, you realize it's alive with traditions, celebrations, and a culture that blends the old and the new in powerful ways. One of the most moving experiences you can witness here are Native American powwows. These aren't just events, they're living expressions of heritage. Imagine the beat of the drums echoing through the air, dancers in colorful regalia swirling in perfect rhythm, songs sung in languages that have survived for centuries. Each step, each note, carries stories of resilience, pride, and connection to the land. Powwows aren't performances for tourists. They are gatherings of families, tribes, and communities. And if you're lucky enough to be invited, you don't just watch, you feel. But South Dakota is also cowboy country. Rodeos are part of everyday life, and they're more than just sport. They're tradition. From small-town arenas to big summer festivals, you'll see riders holding on for 8 seconds, lassoing cattle with impossible speed, and families cheering from the stands. Rodeo here isn't just entertainment. It's a way of keeping the Western spirit alive, a living echo of the frontier days that shaped this land. And then, there's the hospitality. South Dakotans have a saying, "We may not know you, but you're always welcome." Travel across the state, and you'll find diners where strangers greet you like old friends, small towns where the community still gathers on Friday nights for football games, and festivals where everyone, locals and visitors alike, come together to celebrate. This mix of native traditions, cowboy grit, and small-town warmth is what makes South Dakota's culture so unique. It's not about flashy skyscrapers or massive cities. It's about connection, roots, and pride in heritage. And that's something you can feel everywhere, from the powwow drumbeats to the cheers of a rodeo crowd. But here's the thing. South Dakota still has one more surprise for you. Beyond the monuments, the wild Badlands, the history of Deadwood, and the powwows, there's one final element that ties it all together: the open road. Because sometimes, the best way to experience this state is simply by driving, letting the highways unfold, and discovering the hidden gems waiting at every turn. And that's where our journey leads next: the call of the open road, and why South Dakota is one of America's best-kept secrets for travelers who crave adventure.